This session is on the composition equation. Now, the first thing to say about equations is you always have a left and a right. You have reactants, things you start with, and then this arrow means yields or produces. And you have things on the right, your left and right, the products. For the type of equation we're referring to, you're starting with a substance A. This is a pure substance, element, or a compound. And you're reacting with a substance B, element or compound. And you produce AB. Now, AB is called a composition reaction. It is also called combination, and sometimes it's called synthesis reaction. Okay. Now, how do these reactions work? How do we balance the equation? How do we write an equation? Well, I always like to describe it as 3 steps. First of all, in these reactants and products, number 1, you must get the facts. Facts tells you what conditions you have. You could have things in the catalyst, you could have temperatures or pressures, the states of matter, solids, liquids, or gas, or aqueous. Facts are important because you can write an equation and it may not be an equation that actually will even happen. So you have to get the facts that it happens. The second thing you do is you must make sure every formula, you're going to have formulas, 1, 2, 3, or more, and each formula has to be correct. If it's not correct, the equation's not going to be valid. The third thing is once you have the formulas, you never change them after you finish them. And the last thing you do is you balance the equation. Okay, so let's start. The first reaction we're going to do is, and remember, reactions are, when I describe a reaction, it's not a game, it's a story. It's a once upon a time, a long time ago story. And you start off, here we have a fact, aluminum is a reactant. And it reacts with oxygen gas. And it yields or produces, in the presence of high temperature, HT we'll put here, you can put a particular temperature, it yields a substance called aluminum oxide. So here's the story. Once upon a time, a long time ago, this shiny metal, and we may grind it up, reacts with the oxygen, and it produces a white powder called aluminum oxide. That's the story. So we have the facts. The second thing is we write the formula. Here is aluminum. Aluminum metal. It is a metal. It is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust. Aluminum metal. S, parentheses, S means a solid. Metals are solids with exception of room temperature. Mercury is a liquid metal. It reacts with oxygen. Now, oxygen is a diatomic. There are 7 diatomics. Don't forget them. It gets you in trouble. You should be able to right now tell me the diatomic elements. starting with hydrogen. Work on it. We react at a high temperature. We produce a substance, aluminum oxide. Now, when you have a metal and a nonmetal, remember your formulas. Aluminum and oxide. Now, here, see the word oxide. IDE. That does not mean oxygen gas. You can't breathe aluminum oxide. It's just the element O with a charge. And the charge is 2 minus. Aluminum is 3 plus. It's a crystal. So it's Al2O3. Okay, that's the second step. The third step is to balance it. Now what that means is everything on the left must be the same mass as everything on the right. So we look up the mass of aluminum, the mass of oxygen. That would have to be equal to what we have over here. And if it's not, we can balance equations with what's called coefficients. We balance equations with coefficients. Coefficients are numbers in front of the formulas. Numbers in front of the formulas. And when you balance this, one of the things you do is look for even and odd situations to start. If you find that, start with that. Here's oxygen is 2 moles of oxygen atoms. Here's oxygen over here with 3. 2 and 3 are not the same. So how do we get the smallest number that contains 2 and 3? Well, that is 6. 3 times that 2, subscript 2 is 6, and over here you can put a 2. Now you can't put the 2 inside the formula. You can't change the formula. You put it in front of the formula. 2 times 3 is 6. Now when you did this, notice we now created 2 times 2, or 4 aluminum. So it is balanced. When you study moles, or you may have already, it means 4 moles of aluminum reacts with 3 moles of oxygen to produce 2 moles of aluminum oxide. Here you have a metal, shiny, solid. Over here, and I didn't put this in, we have a gas. And this is a solid. This is an ionic compound that we will be talking about. Okay, we balanced it. Now let's try another one. Start off with calcium oxide. Calcium oxide. And I'm just going to write the formula here for the sake of time. Calcium oxide is 2 plus, 2 minus, solid. And we're going to have it react with carbon dioxide. Is a gas, carbon dioxide, and it forms composition reaction, calcium, and this is a polyatomic carbonate, 2 minus, 2 plus. How do we balance that? Number 3, we got the facts. This is calcium oxide is called lime. Okay. 1 oxygen, 2 is 3 here, 3, 1 carbon. It's already balanced. All right, so we're going to continue with composition 2, go to that, and we'll do a few more reactions, and we'll stop right there.